Looking back at the many playthroughs I've done of The Legend of Dragoon, I can't help but feel that overwhelming nostalgia. I've been entranced by the music, and the battle system still feels innovative and unreplicated by other games today. It doesn't have a silent protagonist, and I found myself quite surprised by the characters, both in the hero and villain department. It's a game that has stuck with me over the years, and one I will probably enjoy forever. And after rewatching my playthrough, I've decided to place it behind The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Here's why. It probably comes as no surprise that I enjoyed what was touted as my 5th playthrough of the game. It was especially fun because despite having so much time invested in it, there was so much I forgot or simply got wrong when it came to the details. I would misremember what it was that got us to the end of the game, or even embellish how difficult Rod Typhoon on Albert was. Despite powering through most of the game with little resistance, I still struggled with the battle system I loved so much. The later additions really challenged me, but I never got frustrated or tired of them. It was fun to see me struggle so much on Moonstrike, and then see me get consistent with it for brief periods of time. I also found myself using characters I had never used in my party prior, those being Haschel and Meru. The former being a true powerhouse every step of the way, while the latter having a lot of growing pains, to the point where her viability hinged on equipment. Luckily for me, I managed to acquire what I needed and got to witness Meru's true strengths, which I felt paled in comparison to Albert. The story was something I recognized as the weak point, but one I've always brushed aside. Nostalgia has a firm grip on my feelings for this game, so it was easy to overlook flaws and latch on to the moments I cared about. In fact, there were many of them in the game that felt epic or surprising, like our confrontations with Lloyd, Rose being revealed to be the Black Monster, or Zeeg being alive. Overall, it just felt great to play the game again, and I had no complaints. The rewatch may not have been as successful as I had hoped for. The Legend of Dragoon sports so many elements that I still enjoy today, with the combat being the most prominent. I'm still enthralled by it and find it very cool even by today's standards. The Dragoon transformations may not be all too unique today, but I certainly recognize how innovative they were back in the day, especially because there were pros and cons to using them. In fact, I think a lot of my issues with the game mostly extend to the game's limitations and relics of the past. The 32 item inventory limit, while working very well in terms of balance, just isn't fun to interact with. The encounters were also extremely lengthy, to the point where the average encounter took 2 minutes 46 seconds to complete if you include bosses. The biggest detriment, however, was the writing/translation. Normally this wouldn't impact things as much, but when the game is pitted against my nostalgia, things get thrown way out of whack. Characters would often speak in weird sentences or say words or phrases that really felt out of character. It made many of the moments I enjoyed get knocked down a few pegs from what I remembered, which in turn made me enjoy the story less. The moments themselves were great, like our reunion with Lavitz, but the impact just didn't hit as hard. Based on memory, I ranked The Legend of Dragoon 1 out of 117, and I can definitively say that while it will always be a favorite game of mine, it doesn't hold up to my nostalgia. Ranking it number 1 again would be very ambitious of me, but if I'm honest, it just doesn't deserve that slot anymore. I've played so many amazing games in my lifetime, and ranking The Legend of Dragoon lower doesn't hurt my enjoyment of it in the slightest. While it is my bread and butter game and I enjoy its combat system a great deal, I think I value my experience with The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild more. If I'm being honest with myself, if The Legend of Dragoon released today, I'd probably compare it to the other 95% of RPGs out there that are just okay at best. It can do better, so here's hoping that a remaster or remake comes out someday.